What's the biggest challenge since you started? The more consulting, the more business brokering?
People thinking that their business is worth a lot more than it actually is. Messy financials, I would say, is probably the biggest challenge I've got.
How do you balance entrepreneurship and being a dad?
When my son starts and moaning at 11, 12, 13 years old about money and he wants money, I'm going to tell him exactly how to do it.
$1 million cash in the bank and you're looking to acquire a business, what would you target?
I think my favorite is probably landscaping.
If I have an early baseball game, yes, a request PTO. I never wanted to have to ask permission to go see my kids' games.
You should be lucky to have a job. Stop and complaining. And after a year, I decided to say you to corporate America at the worst time.
Non-negotiable inside of someone to have success.
You got problems right now? Guess what? Year 5, you're going to have problems. And in year 10, you're going to have problems. And I'm a firm believer that if you're not creating problems, you're not.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Successful DNA with my friend today, Vince Perri. Vince, welcome to the pod.
Thanks, Elliott. I really appreciate it, man.
So let's start here. For the listeners to understand who Vince Perri is, let's do elevator pitch, 2 minutes of who you are, what you do, and then we'll dig in.
Serial entrepreneur, hard through and through, 17 years now and counting. I've owned and scaled 4 businesses, sold 1. From tennis academies to public adjusting firms to e-cigarette companies. And I turned the public adjusting firm into a social media platform, online courses where I educated other public adjusters throughout the industry. And then the industry's kind of dying out a little bit. And I see the writing on the wall and I don't want to be leaning up against that wall if and when the industry dies. And if it doesn't, great. But if it does, I don't want to be there waiting. So early last year, 2025, I decided, I was like, well, maybe I'll acquire an existing business like we were talking. But I kept talking to these brokers and I was like, well, you know what? This could be something that I would be interested in. And I built a business model around being a business broker to get also recurring revenue, which is why I'm also a certified exit planning advisor. I also just got another certification, a certified exit consultant, CBEC or something like that. Because I also like the idea of bringing on clients where I could just not just help them sell their business, but actually prepare their business and their life for exit.
What's the biggest challenge? Since you started, the more consulting, the more business brokering, what's been the biggest challenge so far?
People thinking that their business is worth a lot more than it actually is. Messy financials, I would say, is probably the biggest challenge. I've got a business down in South Florida, and he's got a landscaping company, and he is bringing in, I think it was 7 or 8 million in gross. Great company, great margins as well. And I'm still learning the ropes a little bit on the financial side as well. So I work for a brokerage, Murtha & Murtha, mergers and acquisitions in Wesley Chapel, and they're accountants and stuff. And I said, take a look at this. Let me know what you think. And they're like, it's a mess. And I'm like, well, why it's a mess? They're like, because the financials don't match the tax return.
Yeah.
And if they don't match, there's going to be red flags that come up. So I go back and I tell him, and guess what? I haven't heard back from him since.
That's funny.
So that's a big issue.
We were the same way. When we started, it was just absolute rocket ship, right? And I'm a redneck from South Carolina. So when it comes to spreadsheets and, I can sell all day long. When it comes to buttoning up the QuickBooks account, it's not my forte.
Right.
And so, I would say one of the biggest mistakes I made earlier on was not investing into the right team for that. Now we're good. We overhired on purpose to clean everything up for what we're trying to do. I told you, we're under LOI to acquire a large competitor, I would say. They're going to look at our books just as much as they're going to look at their books, And so even their books were somewhat of a mess. So no, I completely agree with you just from making the same mistake of, now we hired a kick-ass CFO, a kick-ass controller, and the team under them. There's so many credit card reconciliation line items for us. It's insane. I was telling you earlier. So what you said you have 4 businesses listed right now?
3.
About to be a 4th.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Close it down, man.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the business is, but we keep going back and forth. And she's like,
paint striping. What else?
Paint striping, a very tiny little pressure washing business, and a plumbing business that we have under LOI.
Okay, cool. The plumbing business, was it local?
Local, Tampa. Yep.
Okay, cool. What was it doing?
That one was doing just under $1 million.
Okay. And what is it under contract for?
It is under contract for, oh man, you're asking me these detailed questions. I got to look at the financials there. I got to look at what it is. I can't remember what it was.
What do you think it was?
I think it's at, I think it's 650.
Okay.
650. Yeah. 650.
So it's probably netting what, 200 or so?
Something like that.
Yeah. The home services business is blowing up right now on the private equity, more roll up strategy. Why?
Well, I mean, obviously it's AI proof is one, because until robots come out, which who knows, that's obviously going to happen, but who knows when, you need the home services, you need those special skills. I think that's probably one thing. Another one is the opportunity for what we keep talking about, which is recurring revenue, which is why I think that's why you're interested in HVAC, is because, well, I mean, yeah, HVAC is the easiest one to do recurring revenue. So my goal is to always, when I talk to these guys, let them know that take your business, whatever that may be, and turn it into some kind of recurring revenue. But the reason why that landscaping business is so successful is also recurring revenue. So I think that's two of the main reasons why.
So that's the exact reason I did it. I was telling you earlier with vacation rentals, if there's a significant financial event, people will go on vacation less. Would we go away? No. We're not going anywhere. We'll have a 6-month lull, but then come back with the steaming engine. So I started looking for more recession-resistant businesses, and that's where HVAC came into play. We acquired an HVAC company. What was interesting there was I wanted to just start one, but you have to, obviously everybody knows you have to have a GC license to do it. But not only that, what I found out, you have to have a GC that's had 5 years in the trade. So 5 years in HVAC. So that was hard to find. So we just acquired, it was $170K, I think it was. But essentially it was a one-man show. He did all his service himself. It was 62, wanted to retire. It's just a little, money in the kitty for him. But he stayed on. We got to use his license. And then, cause we are good at, running ads, getting the business in the door, the marketing, with his license, and then we can host him to do some training too, so that we can go hire the techs. And so it's kind of putting the puzzle pieces together. It was very easy. Same thing. We started a garage door company from scratch. So you're right. When it'll be a while before you have a robot standing in your garage, fixing the garage door. Right. I mean, someone's going to roast me like, no, it's coming next year, but no shot. It comes next year.
No, not to the home services. Yeah. No. And it's funny because it's just one of those things that a lot of people don't want to do. But let me tell you something that's funny that I've been running into a lot is, and it happened, I ran into it again today, is this trend now of buying home service businesses, how we've got the Cody Sanchez's of the world and all these people like really going after marketing and sales, the corporate people. Get out of your corporate job. Stop working for the man. Go buy a boring business and take back control of your life and all this stuff. And 3 people have come to me in the last 2 weeks that started in that about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and they're ready to sell. The striping business, that's one of them. And today it was a home services business that they just do all like the minor jobs, home services. And then the third one is my buddy up in Baltimore, who he's a Marine and his wife is a chiropractor. And he's the one that got me into potentially buying a business. And now they've had their dumpster removal company for less than 1.5 years. And he's over it.
Yeah.
I tell people entrepreneurship sucks, man. Dude, like you gotta, it's a lot of resilience. I mean, and that steady paycheck is gone.
Yeah. I mean, even with the garage door company and the HVAC company, I mean, this happened within the last 6 months. So we're in like scale mode.
But you built a garage door company from the ground.
Yeah. Right. And essentially the HVAC company too. We acquired
it's a tiny company.
I got license, you. And so, I mean, there was no website. There was any contact was on the owner's cell phone number. So like the only asset was the cell phone number, not the phone, just the number.
When the recurring revenue contracts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there wasn't that many. So my point is,
why that one? What was it about it?
Just needed the license, really.
Oh, you just needed the license.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't
right.
want to go. I I didn't need necessarily the business up and running with clients and marketing and a website because I kind of wanted to have our own brand and not have to like recreate a brand. But I would consider myself to have some savvy when it comes to business and growing a business and running a business.
From what I saw in here, I'd say so.
Yeah. So like, but it's still been a challenge. It's completely different, industry. But it's been a challenge to, kick off and grow the company. And so I fully believe in it. We'll figure it out. And I kind of have like a mini private equity team.
That's what it sounds like.
Within our team, like our COO, our CFO, our CRO, they're involved in the more like a once a month, 30-minute like planning strategy session, just to like, how do we scale this as quickly as possible? But my point was like, even having the savviness that, self-acclaimed, is still a challenge. And so it's going to be, they get you on their course, they get you on their train to go, start working for the man, go buy a business. And even if you make it, it's hard, much less if you don't make it.
Well, I remember the conversation I had, it was end of 2024 and I'm sitting with him and I had just scaled my company and I started to scale back. And it was just because we were going through that, which I'm sure we were going through that $2 million, that $2 million, $3 million threshold where it's just like new problems start to exist, and to break it into 10, it's like a whole new can of worms. That's kind of where I was at. And I decided to scale down, and I was kind of over it, Elliott. Like I was kind of done with it.
On the insurance side?
On the public adjusting side. Yeah. And we're sitting there and he starts telling me about the whole acquiring a business. And my first question is, why? Yeah. Why would you want to do this, dude? Like what do you think? He's like, no, it works out great. And I'm like, all right, cool. And look at that. I was right.
Yeah.
He's over it.
If you could,
and now he's in school.
Yeah. If you could acquire, let's say you had $1 million cash in the bank and you're looking to acquire a business, maybe not the business, maybe industry, maybe a business, what would you target?
I like your industry. I do like property management, and I like, out of the home services, I think my favorite is probably landscaping and HVAC. HVAC obviously because they're recurring, but I really love landscaping just because that, I mean, that's like,
especially in Florida.
It's Florida, dude. Like everybody
answer the phone, you'll be fine.
That's it. Everybody needs their grass cut, and it's crazy recurring.
Yeah.
So those are probably the two that I would like, off the top of my head.
And I feel like, I've bought and sold a lot of houses here. I've always kept the landscape company that's there.
That's the best.
Yeah. So it's like,
and also it's by far that and pressure washing are the best business for a 12 or 13-year-old to go door knocking and start making some money.
Great, dude. I told that on the podcast the other day. It was like, it went viral. But it was like something like, don't let your 16-year-old go work at Publix. Like,
I don't think so. But I think Daniel Priestley started at McDonald's.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, man. Like when my son
start a business.
You've got kids, I've got kids. So when my son starts bitching and moaning at 11, 12, 13 years old about money and he wants money, I'm going to tell him exactly how to do it.
Yeah. Show him everything, show him how to do it. I'm going to get him with my marketing team, get him with my accounting team, get him with my sales team, be trained by the best to go, do kind of whatever they want to do from a business perspective. I agree with you on property management is hot right now on property management, M&A. I mean, it has been since really post-COVID. There was this huge boom. There's different property management, right? You got the multifamily, kind of more long-term property management. You got storage, single-family long-term, where we only do short-term rentals. So 7 nights or less bookings on the 800 or so homes that we have live. But that industry especially is booming. A lot of private equity, a lot of venture capitalists, there's a lot of dry powder on the sidelines because of how high interest rates are right now. So they are continually, it's slowed down a little bit, but 2022 to 2024 or 2021, 24, there were some companies getting stupid multiples. Where we're big enough right now, it would be like a low to mid-teens multiple, but there was companies way smaller than us getting low to mid-teen multiples. And so, but I agree with you. It's because of the recurring revenue, as you and I know. And any listeners out there, make sure if you have entrepreneurial acquisitions in your head, focus on that.
And even if you don't, if you just have a normal business, think of a way that you could create some kind of recurring revenue. Every single home service business owner, it has the capability of having some kind of maintenance program, having some kind of subscription model where you give them a discount within 24 hours, we'll be there because you're part of our service. Yep. And I really don't care if you're an electrician or anything else. I understand that it's not the same as HVAC and landscaping where it's actually a necessity. But as a general contractor, I mean, there's no reason why you can't have some kind of, small handyman services that if you need anything in your house, like me, the best thing that I can do in my house is hang a picture frame.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind subscribing to something if it's a low cost, 10, 20 bucks a month, where I know that I can call somebody and they can come, hang a ceiling fan for me. I mean, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And that was the best thing with the HVAC company.
Mm-hmm.
We already had, like, out of the 800, I would say 100 of them are local to like Tampa Bay. So we sent out a message like, hey, this HVAC company is going to do your monthly maintenance. Here's your chance to opt out. If not, and so I think out of the 104 said no. So we got 96 maintenance contracts like that.
Nice.
And so just being able to vertically integrate has been helpful too.
Yeah, for sure.
What's some of the biggest misconceptions from an exit standpoint that owners have?
Well, thinking that their business is worth more than it is.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, it depends on the age. If we're talking about the boomers, like we were talking about earlier here in the studio, the boomers don't have an exit plan. They don't know what the heck they're going to do after exit.
Their kids don't want it.
Kids don't want it. And their plan is lay by the beach or play golf. And, they're boomers, but they're still entrepreneurs at heart. And they've been working day to day in this thing for a long time. And guys like you and me cannot sit still for longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So for them to just retire and go off into the sunset, I'm pretty passionate about that side too. I don't have a lot of boomer clients. Most of my clients are actually between the ages of 35 and 45, believe it or not. But in regards to them, for me, it hits personally because my mom, she's 76 now. And it only took 10 years out of retirement for her to get dementia and have to go to memory care and all that stuff. And I firmly believe that has a lot to do with her losing her sense of purpose with her daily job.
Besides home services, what else do you like right now?
Besides home services.
And management.
Besides home services and property management?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as just businesses or just to acquire? Because I mean, anything in the AI space is great.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you have in mind?
I don't know. I was trying to pick your brain. A personal agenda question.
Home services are so hot right now. It's just like every single inquiry that I get, it's home services. Now, part of that is because I am kind of attracted to it, being in the insurance industry for so long. I was in it for 16 years, that I do get a lot of contractors as clients, and I get a lot of these home service. I mean, I've got an electrician, I've got a HVAC guy, 3 contractors, and they're just all in that space. Yeah. So there's that. But then there's also what you see on social media. Everything seems to be home services. Yeah, well, I'm curious to know what are your thoughts? What am I missing here? What do you think? We'd have to think. Nobody likes restaurants. I will tell you that. I know some law firms that are getting acquired pretty quickly. I guess roofing, we'd consider that home services. Private equity is hot in roofing right now.
Kind of real estate, kind of business. Hotels I like.
Okay, but that's real estate.
Boutiques, but small boutique hotels, to where, like, for example, I'm under contract on a hotel in South Carolina. It was listed at some point for like 1.9 million, but same thing, boomers owned it, kids didn't want to run it. Mm-hmm. The 1.9 million, there's not that many buyers. It's like too big for like the run of the mill individual to go buy it up, and too small for like anybody with money to buy it. Mm-hmm. And so it went from 1.9 to, I kept following it, got to 1.25, and I put an offer in for like 1.05, and we settled at like 1.1 or something. So there's options there.
Nice.
And there's real estate. I mean, a hotel is a business and real estate combined.
I've been hearing a lot. I was actually talking to somebody today who purchased not a retirement facility, but like what's the other one? The ones that they
memory care?
Not memory care, but the one before that, like assisted living.
Okay, yeah.
That they had bought the real estate, and then the business kind of just came with it.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Those are never going away.
Mm-mm. And it's reoccurring revenue.
That's totally reoccurring revenue.
I mean, if you take care of the individuals in it.
I'd go all in on that as my top 3.
Yeah, they're not going to leave. You born and raised Tampa?
Miami.
Miami. When did you move to Tampa?
7 years ago.
What brought you here?
My wife's a pharmacist.
Okay.
And she got an opportunity to work at Moffitt. And I was like, I'm licensed throughout the whole state. I thought I'd never leave Miami. 305 till I die.
Yeah.
But the second I left, I was like, whoa, there's way better places than Miami. I love Miami to death, but every time I go back there, I can't wait to come back up here.
Yeah. Tampa's great.
Tampa is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. We moved from South Carolina 10 years ago now, and we'll never go anywhere else.
It's awesome. I got a buddy of mine who lives in California, and unfortunately for him, he's had a rough year, divorced and lost his job. And I'm like, dude, you got nobody here, bro. Like, just come to Tampa. Don't go to Miami because, he's from Miami too. I'm like, you don't want to go there. Come to Tampa. You got me here. We got some people here. Like, come to Tampa. It's great.
And you just went to Paris? Is that right?
I actually didn't go on that trip. It was my wife and her kid and my kid. My wife and our kid.
Her kid.
My wife and our kid and two of her girlfriends with their kids.
Yeah. Have you seen that trend? You like introduce your wife as your first wife. It's like, hey, this is my first wife.
No, I should do that.
So funny. My wife would smack me.
That's funny.
Then parenting. How do you balance
parenting? Let's go.
How do you balance entrepreneurship and being a dad?
I'm Cuban, so I've got a lot of help with my in-laws. So if it was up to my mother-in-law, she would adopt my child 100% and take my child from me. So for example, we have him in summer camp and daycare summer camp, whatever that's called. And this week he took the week off, and today is Wednesday? I haven't seen my child since Sunday. So I have a lot of help. That's how I balance it. But for the most part, honestly, nothing comes first. Nothing comes before my family. One of my core values with my companies and just with myself has always been family first. And I was just telling you now, I don't like to start before 9:30, and I typically like to end my day at 3. And then I won't put another hour of focus in until after he goes to sleep at 8, because I just want to always be that dad, that parent. And not because I want to be that dad or parent that's there involved. It's just because, I learned, unfortunately, when I was 19 years old, and then again, when I was 23, I had 2 friends die in car accidents. I learned pretty young that all of this could be gone in a second. So I just want to make sure I cherish every moment, because I never know. What is it? The Stoics say, memento mori, like remember death. It's something that I don't like dwell on or anything, but I understand that it could be gone pretty quickly.
Was your dad the same way, or is it?
No. What do you mean? Like involved?
Yeah. Like highly involved like you are?
He was a really good dad. Yeah, I was pretty lucky. He was pretty involved.
Cool. Mom too?
So dad was an entrepreneur, and mom was a elementary school guidance counselor.
Nice.
So it was the perfect mix, and I did the same thing.
Yeah.
So I married a pharmacist, steady paycheck, entrepreneur paycheck. Yeah. You never know.
There you go.
And then he did it too. He had the steady paycheck, and he was just like, that was a roller coaster of a ride.
What'd he do?
It's hard to talk about that, Elliott. My dad was a unique individual. He did all kinds of stuff, but most of it wasn't very straight and narrow. But he never worked for anybody. He always worked for himself.
There we go. Do you think that's where you got your
for sure?
Entrepreneurial
100%. Daniel Priestley has a book. It's called Raising an Entrepreneurial Child. I haven't finished the book, but I've gone through about a quarter of it. But the book starts off with them being in a classroom and raising hands of who had entrepreneurial parents. And all of the entrepreneurs, for the most part, had entrepreneurial parents, which I thought that was actually surprising. And I see the trend too. My neighbor, for example, he's trying to be an entrepreneur, but he works a full-time job. And he's not struggling, but he's still, the concept isn't really there, because he was raised with 2 9 to 5ers. Whereas, how about you?
No, I'm the black sheep.
Oh, really? Your parents were 9 to 5ers?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you were part of the minority there.
And my mom, long story short, my mom couldn't hold a job. It's schizophrenic and bipolar.
Holy crap.
So my dad worked for GE his whole life. Yeah.
Worked for GE?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So 9 to 5, calibration technician.
Super necessary too with the situation.
Yeah.
A lot of siblings?
2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 half sisters from they were both previously married.
Gotcha.
So, but no, I think, I think about it all the time. It's weird. Like I never really had an entrepreneurial itch until probably I was 25, so 7, 8 years ago. Finally got it. I don't know what.
What was it?
Dude, I don't even.
Was it this business?
No, kind of. This is the first reason I started on my own. I bought into an existing company at that point, I think that's what it was. I think I just like saw how it was being ran and thought I could, everybody thinks they could do it better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I could do it better. And then kept buying in equity. And I was minority partner, and then we sold it in April of 2022.
What kind of business was it?
Nothing to do with the real estate. It was a software business. We sold at the perfect time. It was the high school like sports version of a GoFundMe.
Okay.
So I mean, there were not many competitors at that point. Now there's 100 competitors. So
Nice.
I'm sure everybody's evaluations is like so down right now. Yeah, we couldn't have sold at a better time.
Well, I mean, I think a couple things. Well, one of the things that to me that I've noticed is the younger people, and I'm a younger people too, but just the social media trend and what we see is definitely the entrepreneur spirit. Gary Vee talks about it all the time. The entrepreneur spirit is stronger now than it's ever been. I think we have a lot more entrepreneurs now than we probably ever had in our history. So I think there's that too, that you've been raised around just a lot of influence of entrepreneurship in general.
I think too, like growing up, I just saw my dad like
Struggling.
Well, not even that. It's like he couldn't do what he wanted to do.
Sucks.
Right? He's that. All right, if I have an early baseball game, he has to request PTO to take.
I
off
never
that
understood
day.
that concept.
Right? It's just like I never wanted to have to like ask permission to go see my kids' games.
You shouldn't have to ask permission to do much of anything. Yeah. You're a grown man, like you're an adult.
Yeah.
I did 1 year. 1 year I worked for State Farm Insurance, and that's all I lasted. And it was in 2008 during the recession. And I remember they used to tell us all the time, you should be lucky to have a job. You should feel lucky to have a job. Stop bitching and complaining. Be lucky to have a job. Man, they told us when to have lunch. They told us when to go to the bathroom, take a break, like all this stuff. And after a year, I just decided to quit. And I quit and I say bye to all the friends that I had made over the year. This is like, not like this. I'm talking like a whole floor of just cubicles until you can't see it. So I said bye to all my friends. And as I'm walking out, this is a true story. I got my box of stuff, like just typical type of quitting corporate America. And as I'm walking out, like they could see, because I'm walking out with the manager, they have to get your key and all that stuff. And people are looking and I'm just like, oh yeah, peace. And as you hear, like, it's a fucking slow clap, I swear to God. And so people got up and everybody was just clapping because I decided to say, fuck you to corporate America at the worst time, bad recession, 2008, don't quit your job. And I just went all in.
There's yes and no, I would say, in terms of like, as companies grow and they get more and more employees, it's hard to keep track of every single employee.
Mm-hmm.
Like I trust Vic, I trust Aurora.
You better say that they're in the room.
I don't necessarily trust Caden. Right?
I was going to say, you don't even know his name.
Yeah. I trust these two to do their job, do their supposed to. I don't care. Like she just tells me where she's going. Cool, have fun. I'm gonna blow you up anyways the whole entire trip. So
that's messed up.
No, I did good while you were in Ireland last week. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's funny.
But not everybody's built like us four. Not everybody's built like to, just do their job because it's their job. So you have to put like SOPs in place to monitor someone just like coast.
I remember my first experience. Well, yes, I agree with that. But in regards to having to get up and get after it, like just do your job. I remember my first experience when I first started being a public adjuster. I don't know what I was, 22, 23 years old. And I just remember waking up every morning and not having any business and having to go out there and generate business, where I could have easily just stayed in bed if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
But you got to get up there and you got to get after it. And you got to basically work for free for a while until you start actually generating leads.
What are some like things maybe like even I wouldn't even have thought about at this point? Like we know reoccurring revenue is great. We know clean books are great. Are there anything else that you can think of that like, might even increase the multiple by 0.1 like X?
It's a good question. I think now's a really good opportunity with AI where we could start basically building our own IP. Because IP is huge. Good. Intellectual property is huge, right? Like that is unique to your company, unique to the way you do things. And we didn't really have a way of doing it without, literally inventing something in our head, a tool or something like that. Now those tools are so easily created and we can make them ours. And when it's time to exit, we can now sell it with AI agents, new platforms, softwares, operating systems, and different things that you built that's just for that business that could increase its value if it works well.
I like that. I thought about that a lot because, especially as you scale and scale and scale.
I'm building my agents now. I'm so excited.
Like if we're, if we're probably valued today at like a $200 million company, but if it's like, can I do that? I mean, when it's 0.1x, 0.2x,
that's a huge difference. Huge.
We're talking about $1 million.
Just a half. Right? Just a half point is huge. And people don't understand that, where it's just a tweak here and a tweak there, where you don't even have to increase revenue to actually make the value of your company so much more.
Yeah. How do you, what's like your recommendation from a timing perspective of like, we're in like super growth? I keep asking these like personal agenda questions.
That's okay. That's what I do on my podcast as well.
So like we're in like super growth mode. Obviously we still make really good money. But like we're not operated to sell right now. At what point in time is a trailing 12 would need to be, get as skinny as you can? Or do you say longer or scarce?
In my opinion, I think you should always be operating to sell, because you never know when the opportunity is going to come around. Yeah. And usually the opportunity comes around when you least expect it and don't want to do it. So like it could come around tomorrow.
What about, like we've made a lot of hires recently just to like, we don't necessarily, they're not like operational hires. They're more on the growth, the revenue side of hires, like more sales reps, more closers, more partnership coordinators. Like when it comes to that,
what about it?
Like at what point do you weigh like that's not me ready to sell tomorrow?
That doesn't mean that's okay, because as a buyer, I mean, I want that anyway, and if that's already implemented, that's okay.
Yeah.
I think again, just always have your books clean and always sort of be ready to do that. I was gonna say something. Always show profit.
Yeah.
When you told me your profit margin, I said that's great.
Yeah.
Because most people are always on this. Here's my advice. If this business is how you make money, you pay yourself your salary, you pay yourself bonus, you do all these things. This is your main money driver. It's how you make money. You should not be cutting out on the net profit so that you could save on taxes. You're in real estate. You have plenty of different opportunities.
Yeah.
You've got opportunities all over this city where you could save on taxes.
Yeah.
But your main money driver, that is basically the bulk of your wealth, because people don't understand that your business is literally, they've done studies on this, 80% of your net worth. So if it's 80% of your net worth, why are you going to make it look like it's not worth anything so that you could save a couple bucks? It affects your multiple so much that you actually end up losing money on the actual exit. So the advice that I always give, because that's another thing that drives me crazy. Oh, well, I didn't want to show profit because of taxes. But this is what like feeds you, your family.
Yeah.
Just budget correctly, save money for taxes every single month so that you're ready to pay your tax bill. At the end of the day, the more taxes you pay, the better you did.
Well, two things. First, a lot of people think that, hey, the company made the profit, but I didn't personally make the profit. It's the same thing. You're still paying taxes on the company profit. I know I didn't distribute all of it. It doesn't matter. As soon as the company makes a profit, you're paying the taxes on it. Two,
you have to budget for that though.
Yeah. And we do a lot of content on this. Like I made $3 million, give or take, last year. So we did the content for our tax strategy and CPA company that if I wouldn't have done anything about it, I paid about $1 million in taxes, right? But I attacked it with Airbnb, with tax strategy, and I paid $160K in taxes. And so we put it beside, like I had a friend of mine that like, allowed me to do this. He made the same amount as I did, and we showed his tax bill compared to my tax bill. And so like it got.
What did he pay? $1 million?
It was like he did a little bit. It was like $890 or something.
Fuck.
Yeah. So when I told him what I did, like showed it to him,
make him feel like shit.
He was like,
"That's crazy."
And I like, dude,
he can go back though.
Yeah,
he can go back.
Yeah, he can do a little bit. At least going forward, he can buy more real estate.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Yeah, I want to save $1 million in my 401k." I'm like, "Why?"
But this is your bread and butter.
Right.
This company you have here, this property management, this is your bread and butter. You want always be ready, show the profit, pay the taxes. Just you have a controller, you have a CFO. Let them prepare you for that tax hit, and then everything else you could figure it out. Because this is what's valuable. People and they're not showing their net profit. It drives me nuts.
How do you feel about the private equity space in M&A?
I have mixed emotions about it. On the front end, I think it's a great idea. I think it's fantastic. You're basically bringing on a high level business coach or business coaches to your company as your partner who have an invested stake in your company, which means they're going to give a shit just as much as you do. I think that's good. Number 2 is you get the capital that you need to go to the next level. The issue that I'm finding, particularly from what I know in the roofing space, is that they are running a lot of roofing companies straight to the ground. So you have to do your due diligence as the company to make sure that this private equity firm that's coming in is the right fit for you and they understand your business and they're going to do what you want them to do, especially if you're staying on as a minority stake.
And do you like the roll-up strategy?
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, for sure.
The only thing, so I've looked into it a lot, the private equity company, they are strictly focused on shareholder value.
Yeah.
And not necessarily what might be best for the business. It's all about making the shareholders happy. How do you feel about that?
Well, you would think that a successful business and a particular return on the exit or the sale of the business would make their shareholders happy.
Enterprise value. We've talked a little bit about it. Is there anything else that you can think of that might increase multiples? It's kind of like one of my last questions, like a 0.12% or a 0.2% besides IP.
Owner dependency.
That's a good one.
Where are you at right now with that?
That's a really good one.
What are the hours? All right. Well, I'm going to ask the audience. If Elliott leaves for 30 days, can the business not only continue to run, but actually increase in revenue and generate actual growth?
Yeah, and it kind of just did. So
that's fantastic. Yeah, that's great.
May 26th, we had our third child. Here we're recording this July 1st of 2026, and this is my first day back in the office. Now, did I not work the last 30 days? No, of course I worked, but record month in June. And I work significantly less.
Could you just stop though?
Could I, or would I want to?
We're talking about big decisions that need to be made.
If I got hit by a bus today, the company would thrive still.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, do I love what I do and want to quit? No.
Right, which is understandable.
Do I want Caden to fire me? No, I don't want that. Yeah.
So owner dependency is a big one.
Yeah.
A lot of people are still strictly relying, even with the management team, even with leadership team, even with all that, still that final decision runs on them. And you hear about Hermosi talking about it all the time. Hermosi doesn't do shit in his company anymore.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. He doesn't make any decisions.
Yeah.
He doesn't make any decisions.
Layla makes them all.
I don't even think Layla makes them all. I think he's just got his team that ultimately makes the final decisions. So that's a big one. That's a huge multiple one because nobody wants to buy a job, especially private equity. They just want that business and they just want it to keep doing what it's doing. But it's not a deal breaker. Recurring revenue is sweet. IP is sweet. And
the only other thing I thought about, I didn't think about owner dependency, but was however it's called, you know the term, but not too full of one lead source.
Customer diversity.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I ran into a company recently that they were strictly reliant on, I think 65% of their gross revenue was from one customer.
Yeah.
That you don't want it to be more than 15 or 20%.
Yeah, 'cause you lose that one, that's done.
Then you're fucked. Yeah. So customer diversity is one. Then the other one is what we call your social capital. Social capital is basically when they see your Rise Collective logo, how does it make people feel?
Yeah.
If it brings a smile on people's face. Also, Google reviews is another one that makes people feel good. That increases your multiple. Another one is your human capital. So it seems to be pretty good here. I don't know anybody personally, but your human capital is like your company culture and how people like to enjoy working with the company. Because if Elliott's no longer here because he decides to sell the company and a new person comes in, we want to make sure that everybody's sort of
employee turnover. Would you throw that into that?
It depends on the reason, but you don't want a high employee turnover.
Yeah.
So I did customer capital and we talked about customer diversity, your human capital, your social capital, and then your structural capital. So that's your systems and processes, making sure that they're all set in place so that, again, you could not only leave, but also systems and processes really determines the transferability of your company. So if this business were to transfer from you to me, is everything already laid out in place so that I can just maybe learn a couple things or whatever, and I could understand how everything works just by looking at a couple operations manuals or something like that. The other thing that we do, by the way, this is for you, Elliott, is making sure that you do have all those things in like Keyman insurance.
We have Keyman,
life insurance, estate planning and wills and trusts, and like all of that set up. If you get hit by a bus, is your wife the owner of the company?
No. So how me and Michael set it up, so I have a business partner, we're 50-50. We both, like, as we're like a freaking rocket ship, we wouldn't want our wives to be forced to sell. So they would just maintain 50% equity. And Michael would take over the like day-to-day operations of it.
So your wife would take over the 50%.
Yeah.
How do you think that'll go 6 months down the road?
I mean, me and Michael agreed that's how we want it. Just because we're doubling every year. And so like, it's more like, I think it helps when like me and Michael are really, really close from a friendship perspective, and like we care about each other's families.
But those are the things, those are the risks that you have where Michael's friends with you.
Yeah. And if he gets frustrated, well,
did he introduce you to your wife or something?
Well, no, I mean, our wives wouldn't have any operational control.
Okay. And that's in writing?
That's in writing.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But they would still own half the company. But Michael would be able, or I would be able to completely operate it freely. So.
And if she owns half the company, decisions are still made by Michael?
Operational, not the like
selling of the company.
Yeah, taking on debt, selling the company. Okay. That would have to be mutually agreed to.
Okay.
Yeah, like the big decisions.
Okay.
Whatever that word, however that's worded.
Yeah. So those are the things.
Yeah.
Also, that a lot of business owners, they don't have any of that stuff.
We have most of it except a plan. Like, I agree with Vic. Probably, if not Michael getting like more and more involved and taking over, probably be Kyle. But it's not like set in stone. It should be. It should be in writing somewhere. So, and if something happened to Kyle, this is what happens. Something to that person, this is what happens. Listen, with this, with the podcast being Unsuccessful DNA, I like to end. I mentioned to you earlier, but whether it's you, whether it's the businesses you've worked with or friends around you, what are like, it's like a non-negotiable that like has to happen inside of someone to have success?
Persistence. To me, that's what it boils down to. I talked to 2 business owners today. The guy that I told you that wants to sell 2 years later, he's a service business, then he went and he did the acquisition. I just looked at him and was just like, bro, this is normal. Everyone is going through this. Just keep going. Like, you just can't stop. And that's just, and I said, you know what? You got problems right now? Guess what? In year 5, you're going to have problems. And in year 10, you're going to have problems, you know? And I'm a firm believer that if you're not creating problems, you're not creating anything. So you got to almost basically create problems for you to continue to grow, you know? Kudos to you, man, and your success. That's fantastic.
Well, more about that next week when I come on your show.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Where can people find more about you?
So I'm launching a new YouTube channel. It's called All Business with Vince Perri. That'll launch on Monday. So that date will be, I don't know what date is Monday. The 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, right? So the 6th, like it launches. And we'll have 2 shows a week. And the original show that we have now, which is called Vince Perri, that is going to change to just the Public Adjuster channel. I'm literally just going to sit with another person in the industry once a month and just keep that going. But All Business with Vince Perri, I'm going balls to the wall on that.
Oh yeah.
I'm going all in. And we got the funnel set up and everything. So it should work pretty nicely. And then on Instagram, Vince Perri Official. Post pretty often. And then you could follow me and friend me on Facebook. And I'm on TikTok as well, but that's kind of like automated.
Cool.
But yeah, pretty easy to find.
Well, thanks for coming, bro.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know, kudos to you, man, and your success. That's fantastic.
Well, more about that next week when I come on your show.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Where can people find more about you?
So I'm launching a new YouTube channel. It's called All Business with Vince Perri. That'll launch on Monday. So that date will be, I don't know what date is Monday. The 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, right? So the 6th, like it launches. And we'll have 2 shows a week. And the original show that we have now, which is called Vince Perri, that is going to change to just the Public Adjuster channel. I'm literally just going to sit with another person in the industry once a month and just keep that going. But All Business with Vince Perri, I'm going balls to the wall on that.
Oh yeah.
I'm going all in. And we got the funnel set up and everything. So it should work pretty nicely. And then on Instagram, Vince Perri Official. Post pretty often. And then you could follow me and friend me on Facebook. And I'm on TikTok as well, but that's kind of like automated.
Cool.
But yeah, pretty easy to find.
Well, thanks for coming, bro.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.